Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. It's Monday on GavsWeatherVids.com, which can mean only one thing: it's Europe Day. Every Monday on GavsWeatherVids.com, or nearly every Monday, we do the European outlook and we have a look at weather for the coming week across the European continent, and today is no different. Now, before I go over the video, I just want to mention the advertising. There'll usually be a video ad on my weather pages at GavsWeatherVids.com, so please play those ads. You will be supporting GavsWeatherVids.com by doing that. So we're going to start off with today's chart from GFS. Well, we've got low pressure out in the Atlantic trying to come in across the British Isles and into Ireland as well, northern France, but the cold air is still there across much of central and northern Europe. But what we're going to find through this week is that this cold air is forced back by this milder Atlantic air pushing in. So this really is going to be a week of change across the continent this week as the milder air comes in. We have a look at the upper air temperatures. We can see it's still pretty cold here across much of central and northern Europe, much of northern Britain, in towards Denmark, through in towards Scandinavia, northern Germany, northern Poland as well, and on in towards northeastern parts of Europe and back into western Russia. All very cold up there still in the north. Cold air goes on through central and southern parts of Europe, so much of France, southern parts of Germany, down in towards the southeast of Europe, and then through the Mediterranean. The upper air temperatures are much milder, and that milder theme is really going to be the story of the week as that milder air starts to push further north and east across the continent. The dew point is still very cold across many central, northern and northeastern parts of the continent today, bitterly cold across much of Scandinavia and western Russia, down in towards the east of Europe as well. Those dew points are below freezing, much milder dew points there through the continent. Remember, dew points are a reflection of the humidity in the atmosphere, and when they're below freezing, it is very cold. I think this will probably be the last week we use the dew points for some time, actually, because the spring-like conditions, I say, are pushing in. But we'll have to see on that. Maybe the cold weather will come back. We'll need to use the dew points again. We'll have to wait and see. But for the precipitation, we've got heavy rain here to the southwest of the British Isles, going through into northern Spain, northern Portugal as well, and France. Very wet across much of France today, through in towards northern Italy, around the Alpine regions of Switzerland as well. Up to the northeast, a lot of dry weather, but we have got snow there across northeastern parts of Europe and some parts of Finland as well. Through the Mediterranean, well, quite showery really. It's not entirely dry, but there are drier breaks across southern parts of Spain and Portugal through the Balearic Islands. Then running showers across Italy, and down in the southeast of Europe, showers or thunderstorms really quite likely for Greece and Turkey. Temperatures today very cold up to the northeast. Can't really see it, but temperatures are barely above freezing for much of the northeast. Central parts of Europe, well, we're below where we should be, pretty chilly, but the temperatures are a little bit better than they have been, but still it's pretty chilly across much of the continent. You have to go through the Mediterranean and to the south of France to find the real warmth today. Now, as we move into the middle part of the week, going to find this area of low pressure becoming more dominant from the Atlantic, starting to push in across the continent. Notice the high pressure up to the northeast is beginning to retreat as this milder weather begins to move up from the south and the southwest. So I'd say that's really the story of the week, with the milder weather slowly pushing that cold air back. Notice that the cold upper air temperatures are retreating there across some of the central parts of Europe. It's still cold though across Scandinavia and western Russia. That cold weather still goes down in towards Scotland as well, but it is warming up through the central portions of the continent and through the Mediterranean. Actually, it's turning quite warm there through southern parts of Spain and down in towards North Africa, southern parts of Italy as well. The upper air temperatures getting up towards 10 Celsius, so really quite warm air indeed. The dew points for cold air is slowly retreating up to the north and the northeast as this milder, more unsettled Atlantic air starts to push in. Really quite warm dew points there across much of France, down in towards Spain and Portugal, through the Mediterranean as well. But the cold dew points definitely being pushed back further northwards and eastwards. Very unsettled picture through the middle of the week, with showers or longer spells of rain here across many central parts of Europe. Very wet potentially through France on Wednesday. Once again, maybe southern England also. Showers, maybe some of those wintry for Scotland and around Denmark. But once you come down in towards Germany, the Low Country, we're really looking at rain rain showers, I think, and through much of Poland as well. Rain showers quite likely. Down in towards the Balkans and then the southeast of Europe, some rain showers down there. Some of those could be quite heavy with risk of thunder. Mainly dry through these Mediterranean countries, so through much of Italy, largely dry weather. Corsica, Sardinia, the Balearic Islands again, going to be a nice week, I think, for many of these central portions of the Mediterranean. To run back in towards the showers and longer spells of rain there for northern parts of Spain and down in towards Portugal, but the Costas should do quite well through the middle of the week. All the time that milder air is beginning to advance northwards and eastwards, so beginning to come up towards double figures across Germany, Poland as well, and into southern England. Nice and mild for many parts of France also, but the real warmth through the middle of the week is still through the Mediterranean, with temperatures likely to be around the 70 Fahrenheit mark. And then as we go through in towards the end of the week, well, that high pressure is continuing to retreat away to the northeast. That's given us all of the cold weather across Europe through the course of March. It's slowly being beaten back by this milder Atlantic air feeding in across the continent, but with low pressure it is unsettled in many parts of the continent as well. Upper air temperatures seeing that cold air very gradually being forced back northwards and eastwards, so even some parts of southern and eastern Scandinavia now are into some milder upper air, but for northern parts of Norway and Sweden we are still cold with the upper air temperatures. That cold upper air is still just about clinging on to Scotland as well, but really much of the continent warming up. Notice the yellow colours are coming in across many central parts of Europe, and some really quite hot air actually is getting going down across northern parts of Africa, just starting to push northwards into those southern portions of the Mediterranean. That could be the trend next weekend as we get a bit of a plume of very warm weather just shooting northwards, but we have to firm up on that. Dew points, well, the last of the below freezing dew points there across Scandinavia being forced back to the north of Scandinavia and western Russia, most of Europe above freezing with the dew points by the time we get through to the end of the week. Precipitation, lots of rain and showers, longer spells of rain here for many central parts of the continent, into the British Isles, well, down into France, through much of the Low Countries, Germany, Poland, through the Alpine regions, down into towards the southeast, and through some southern parts of Scandinavia as well. We have got some outbreaks of really quite heavy rain. Of course, on the northern and east edge of this rain, that is likely to be snow, but it could turn back to rain across some southern parts of Sweden, in particular through the course of the end of the week. Mediterranean largely dry. It's going to be a nice week for those central portions of the Mediterranean. If you're going to Mallorca, Minorca, or the Costas, maybe Corsica, Sardinia, it's going to be a nice week. A lot of dry weather through those countries this week, and much of Spain and Portugal turning dry as well by the end of the week, and even down into towards Greece and Turkey with lots of showers and thunderstorms. The showers, thunderstorms, long spells of rain are all further north in those central countries. Temperatures lifting up all the time through these central areas, so we're into the maybe up the upper teens across many parts of Germany, Poland, down into France as well. Really quite decent with those temperatures. Into the British Isles, we're seeing temperatures into double figures also, although it's still quite cold in the northeast. It's still quite cold for much of Denmark and Scandinavia. Actually, just we're seeing moderation of that cold really through the end of the week. But real warmth there through the Mediterranean, where temperatures could be approaching 25 degrees, 77 Fahrenheit perhaps in some of those southern parts of the Mediterranean through the end of the week. And I say that could be the trend into next weekend, as we see a little bit of a mini plume just starting to push north in some central countries of Europe, maybe some places getting up into the 70 Fahrenheit mark over the weekend, but there will be a risk with that of some thunderstorms. So a week of change for Europe this week. We're coming out of the freezer and going into spring at long last. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.